Who ready? We ready. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? We ready. Motivation to youth only. Mentally feel like Kobe. I'm like Jokic with the rock. You physically couldn't hold me. I don't care if you pushing 40. You can never little bro me. Euro step like Ginobili. From young OG to the OG. From nosebleeds to floor seats. Circle stronger than Cuban links. My gold dance, your gold plated. You verse me, now that's the reach. We ready. Who ready?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the One-on-One Sports Show on the BMU Network. I'm Mr. Bennett, joined by my partners, Brother Shawnee, Brother Dante, all the way from Texas on this Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to everyone that's out there, especially we all know Juneteenth originated in Texas, June 19th of 1865. So, again, we want to pause and celebrate for the ADOS, African American, our independence, or certainly when the last bastion of slavery was done. We all know, all right, so for you technical people out there, we know Delaware still has some leftovers, didn't happen until October, July. We know all that stuff, okay? But Juneteenth is recognized as the day that we're doing it. But again, good to be with you guys this evening on this Wednesday. Again, as you see scrolling at the bottom, you see our Cash Apps. If you certainly appreciate the content, we'd appreciate anything that you drop to us in our Cash Apps. But more importantly than that, we ask that you certainly support the BMU Network. Consider being a subscriber to the BMU Network, as well as dropping a Cash App to help the network grow. We have content for 7 days a week, and certainly want to grow this platform. So certainly with that, good to be with you guys again. How y'all doing, Brother Shawnee? What's going on with you?
What's going on, fellas?
Yes, sir.
And, do some family things this past weekend.
That's all right.
So everything else, other than that, everything else been pretty good.
Nice. How about you, Dante?
Man, doing good, man. To be honest, as far as what's going on, Trey Ferg, as far as being off on Juneteenth and having it recognized, like I really love it. It says being off is something that I've done my whole childhood, learned about it early. Starting to implement on my kids. Shout out to Gracie's Corner for for posting it, and so I can an easy way to show my kids because I see there's all this Gracie's like, yeah, we'll teach you up on something while you having some fun. So I appreciate that. Besides, my rival winning, and my baseball team down. Other than that, everything's pretty good.
I heard that. Brother Trey Ferg, what's going on, man? How you doing? My 7B brother. Salute, sir.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing on this beautiful Wednesday?
Doing all right, man. You sound good. You sound real good. Well, let's start the show by talking about the obvious. Certainly congratulations to the Boston Celtics by winning not their 16th, not their 17th, but their 18th World Championship. Okay, so again, one more than the Los Angeles Lakers, setting themselves apart from that. And so shout out to that organization. Trey, don't drop off so. I'm sorry, Dante. Don't drop off so fast, bro. We're just getting started. But certainly shout out to them. Hope it's been a long time in the making. And so salute to the Celtics for that victory. Now again, Shawnee, Dante. So what is the mood? What is the temperature in Dallas at the time? Did they? Do you know if they had the arenas where you can go and watch the game? Did they do stuff like that down there for the series?
I don't know if Dante heard it. You talking about like a watch party?
Yeah. At the arena that they play at, did they do anything like that for Dallas, or
I'm pretty
it was
sure
pretty much a wrap?
Did. I don't, like I said, because I was out of town this weekend, so I wasn't aware after the game 4 victory. Normally, they all start advertising that once they see they have a chance to continue the series, but I was out of town, so I don't remember them.
I didn't remember seeing anything like that. I know that since it's such a big thing, there were a lot of different watch parties. Like I know my cousin DJs, and he was at like a watch party in a big area, like an outside area. And so it was what I could see was like a festive environment. But with the way the series turned, I think there was probably more of a pulling away of that. I want to say if they would have won Game 6, obviously that still would. I mean, Game 5 would have been watch parties and things. If they'd have pushed to 7, I'm sure there would have been one. But it was kind of one of those things where that when they took the 3-0 lead, I think you obviously you took the win out of themselves, and it was just kind of a big just let down across the metroplex from all the Mavs fans. But
Right.
and rightfully so. It's just like you get there, and then the worst part is when you're facing a better team. It's just like you gotta give pats off to that because it's like everything you do, whether Porzingis was out and anything, no matter what they were doing, their adjustments, it just wasn't happening.
Well, I know
Right.
locally
Right.
they was trying to. I know when the series was initially over, I think the next day the local radio station was trying to remind the fan base here about their recent high with the Rangers winning. So they was trying to. I remember them playing a clip of when the Rangers got the final out, celebrating, and I guess they thought it would kind of smooth over the nasty taste of this NBA Finals loss. The
Right.
fan base didn't care. They kind of, cause the way the Rangers are playing right now, they not looking like the defending champs. So it didn't it fell on deaf ears locally. So yeah, they bummed out. I think I think it's more. I'm trying to, cause it was even national media heads was really getting pumped up for the series because how both teams was playing in their respective conference finals. Well, when we talked about it a couple of, before game one, we thought it was gonna be a very good series.
Mhm.
Um, it it turned out the series was a dud, even though I believe Dallas had a chance to win games 2 and 3,
Right.
but
Right.
because two, Kyrie was struggling, and then three, by far, is probably a bigger letdown because of Luca getting himself fouled out with over 4 minutes to play. Your team is down by three,
Right.
and he was, just pulling BS fouls, thinking it wasn't going to catch up to him. So that
Right.
was
Now I
big.
know Luca is known for I guess pouting, he whines to the refs all the time about, fouls and whatnot. Do you think that just got to the refs? Do you think they just kind of had a lot of it, or what? Did I freeze it?
He's been doing that since his rookie season. I mean, even here locally, they understand how great of a talent he is, but they always talked about his lack of defense and his constant complaining. And you keep hearing people say he's 25. It don't matter. The dude been playing pro ball since his teens, so he should catch. And then
Yeah.
now it really, I think how, especially if local news, once it is made it to the national news, is really a major story. Everybody's gonna be talking about it. So hopefully he'll change it next year. Because at one point, people he was like he was a stat stuffer.
Yeah.
His team wasn't really winning the major games until they got Kyrie and made this run to the finals. They
Mhm.
was calling him down here the Slovenian Westbrook. They was calling him that.
Yeah,
He was a stat stuffer,
But let's
but he
not
wasn't
let's
playing
Right.
not
for
get it
Slovenia like
twisted.
that.
Now
Yeah.
y'all
Yeah.
know
Dre.
Boston was the better team. Boston
Oh yeah,
just outmanned them. They
we just thought
manhandled them.
the big duo of Dallas the way they did Minnesota because
That was
Minnesota
Minnesota.
was
It wasn't no Boston.
technically a better defensive team than Boston throughout the season. They finished better defender, but
Who, Minnesota?
many, yeah, they were the number one defensive
Yeah,
team. So,
playoffs is different.
but
Playoffs ain't
I
they
think
got
they were
nothing to do
still
with
the
that
number one
regular
defense in
season.
the playoffs. But they don't
This was
have
just
the
Boston and Jerry.
offense that Boston has. They depend so much on Edwards and whatnot. That's why Dallas was able to kind of. That's why they was able to hide Luca because many had a player on there that wasn't giving them offense like Boston's five. Their starting five, all five of them could literally put the ball on the floor. Hell, even with what's his name, the three, what's it, 30,
I'm
30,
trying to think.
the 3-point shooter.
Oh,
They
Oh.
tried to put Luca on him. He started moving about the ball and ultimately got
Oh,
himself
okay.
open. So
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of his.
it
yeah.
started an
They,
H.
they came off of
I keep forgetting it. It's started an H. He's their he's their sharpshooter. It
Oh,
wasn't
what?
Pritchard.
Not Derek White. Are you talking about Pritchard? Talking about
No,
Pritchard or
not
White?
Pritchard. Not Pritchard. The other one.
The other
Derek
little, I
White.
know the little white dude, Hurdy, start with an H or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, got to look. He looked like your boy that used to play for him. They traded him to the Hornets. No, what's his name?
Oh, he's
Come on,
about
Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, he looked like Gordon Hayward in a little bit.
because he moves good without the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam Hauser. Yeah, Sam
Yeah.
Hauser.
Yeah, Hauser. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they try to put Luca on him, and once he started moving out the ball, Luca couldn't keep up. So
Yeah,
they couldn't
exactly.
hide Luca like they did in previous series.
Definitely. Dante, what are your thoughts on again? I guess the mood of Dallas. What going into the finals? I mean, do you think that the vibe was that they had a legitimate chance of upsetting Boston, or was it like did they kind of go in thinking that, okay, they were a better team? They need certainly a tremendous effort by their two superstars in order to take them over.
I think the pulse of the city was the fact that, hey, the pulse of the city and then the effect of the narrative of what it is. I won't say the narrative against the Celtics, just the fact that they hadn't done it. It's the national points, and locally it was just like we get close in a close game. We got Kyrie who's a killer, and we got Luke who can make the plays in a big game. I thought
Mm-hmm.
it as well because I was like, I've seen Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown shrink in the moment. So it's like, but anyone to say that because I know we probably got some comments. It's like, hey, well, and it's like, no, I fully thought, hey, the games will be close. Game one, not close at all. And then you see game two, just another situation where it's like, okay, this team is clearly better. And the Kyrie Boston thing really hurt. But I will say that some fans are feeling like, hey, you did make a big jump. You made it to this point, and you have a young superstar that I don't know. Some are being sympathetic to him as almost because you treat your superstar different. Some are like, hey, what happened in game three is one of the reasons why they lost this series. I know on the radio, that's definitely local news is like, hey, he has to improve. That has to do that. I did hear a host say today, it was just like, it showed even in the biggest moment, his ego got in the way of who he thinks he is and the way he acts to let that go away, to act like that towards the referee. And all the whining for calls and they going in transition. This is the finals. You can't do that. So I will
Yeah.
say there have been some critiques of him for that, and I would say that those are justified. Like what who's the guy that Windhorse? What Windhorse said about him was absolutely true, and it's the thing where like yeah, it caught up to you in the finals. Yeah, good job. You were in better shape. You can't show up to camp out of shape. You have to show up in camp in shape. You have to be ready to play in the June. It takes a lot out of your body. Now he's about to
Right.
go play for Slovenia. So my thing is, if you go to play Slovenia in the Paris games and you come to camp out of shape, it may never happen because you played a longer series in these finals, a longer season than you ever have, and then you played in the Olympics. So you have to play in that and be in shape. If you aren't in shape coming to start camp, or if you show up in shape and then you lose it during the season, like the perfect picture is Michael Finley taking the beer out of his hand after the Western Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
You have to
But
know,
do you think
like,
that's even? But do you think that's even possible? I mean, to the earlier point, I mean, the guy's been playing pro ball since 14 years old, and certainly he has a style about doing it. Can you think, even though he's only 25, do you think that based on this experience he just had, that he will change his habits? He will get more disciplined to get into shape, or this is just going to be like kind of is this just who he is? I mean, is this the catalyst that's going to make him, maybe drop 10, 15 pounds and really work on his conditioning? Because I certainly think in game 5, it seemed like he just wasn't there, and his conditioning definitely could have suffered because again he was being harassed. Certainly for the entire series, he had his moments, and certainly in game 2 had a breakout. But again, when you talk about playing late into June, as you said, that definitely the conditioning, which clearly is with the Celtics, I think they had the better horses in this series. But can he be that player that is going to have that LeBron type of discipline and really whip himself into shape, get a trainer, and just really do it? Or is that just who he is? He needs to be, because some players, they got to be quote unquote themselves in order to get into their game. So how do you think? How realistic is it that you think he can make that turnaround?
I don't know. At this point, like you said, he's 25. It could change, but like Shawnee said, he's been a pro for a while. It may not. My thing is, it should. It should be somebody in the organization that should be telling him in his ear to be like, hey, they should show him clips of him tired. They should show him clips of the referee stuff. They should show him that and be like, we other guy like Lively's going to improve. You would assume a 20-year-old would improve. You would
Right.
assume different players and different parts of the team can improve internally, and they should tell him a big, a PowerPoint presentation. This is how you can improve. They absolutely should. I don't know if it will, but I know as far as him being a competitor, that should eat at him. That hey, he could have, and I know everyone's gonna look at the box score, but for the box score people, yes, you can look at it like the numbers were good, but sometimes you can look at the efficiency, it wasn't there because he's getting to the hoop and they're all over him. And it's just like, hey, and obviously you're not going to turn into a lightning quick athlete overnight, but you can be in better condition. You can move your feet better. Because like the sixth foul in game 3 was terrible. That was absolute. Like you may as well been the cone that they call you. Let that guy go by and get the bucket so that you can
Yeah,
stay in the game.
that's what I was thinking. Most of the time you playing this Olay defense, and then all
And
of a
this
sudden
time,
on your
now you
sixth
move your feet.
foul, you want to try to pick
Crazy.
up a charge, and you are like,
Fellas,
Yeah.
oh, hell.
you got- you
Yeah,
got-
go ahead, Troy. I know you have a background in conditioning, so I mean, talk about this conditioning for Luka, because I definitely think those cheap fouls he was getting was due to his conditioning. When you can't, when you don't have it, you start making crazy fouls because the footwork isn't there. So, talk about that from a conditioning standpoint. What can he do, or do you think he can commit to that?
All right, so I'm gonna walk it backwards. As far as this conditioning, y'all got to understand, he's 25, poor kid from his country, making millions of dollars. So, and when after the season, he goes back to his hometown. He's a hero. What do y'all think is happening? He's getting treated like a king. He ain't out there on the court every day. He ain't getting up flossing his cars and riding around in his jewelry. He's being a hero to people in this country. But I think just based off what we've seen recently, especially with the video that they got him with the beard being taken out of his hand, I think this is going to play a deal into his next contract because he's due max money and could probably be the highest paid in the history. But he's going to have to come to the American build of the athlete. I think if he loses about 15, 20 pounds and making muscle, ain't nobody going to be able to stop him. But this was Boston's series to lose. Anybody know how to play basketball? It was Boston's series to lose. They was outmanned. They was out Tatum and Brown. They understood what the mission was, and they was locked in. Boston was already too tall with Porzingis over. Plus, he used to play for Dallas. How y'all think he gonna motivate the team? I mean, everybody was hitting Luka. They ran out of gas. Kyrie, it showed. They was being pushed around. They was being manhandled. They was too short. Everybody started getting their shot blocked. Couldn't nobody make a jumper. And Jason Kidd made a critical mistake. I think he gonna look back at that and be like, I messed up. There's no way Tim Hardaway Jr. should have been sitting on the bench, a consistent 15, 20-point scorer throughout the season. He's on the bench.
No,
Y'all just played him. Y'all
Somebody
just paid him millions of dollars, and these other guys have no experience. Lively, he's a big body. Yes, he was balling when he got his head messed up and threw his timing off. But you got to play Tim Hardaway Jr. That was a bad move. That was the worst move.
Yeah, I think hang on, Trey. I think there's a story behind that. Go ahead, Dante. What was the deal? Because someone in the chat actually was talking about Tim Hardaway as well. So what was the deal with him? He didn't get a lot of playing time.
It's at the point to where at the time the Mavericks signed him to that deal, and he can be very high and on, and then he can be off. But he's a guy that he's the reason why Kyrie's here. He can play in the game, but he can't handle the ball. He's not a strong defender, so he has to basically only provide with the jump shot. So if the jump shot's not falling, and as you see in the
nobody's
playoffs,
falling. Hold up. Nobody's falling. Nobody's falling.
Nobody
was
falling, but he can't be either. So you can't shoot and you can't defend. You can't handle the ball. It's kind of like I'm gonna look. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna look up the stats of how bad he's played, and I'm gonna ask you if he should have played. Because that's one where it's like I thought he was a better player than this, but I've learned over time.
If he would have averaged 13 points a game in the playoffs, they could have won.
Now, personally, because Hardaway, even with the small amount of minutes he had played, he wasn't making anything. But remember, is he a rhythm player though? Because a lot of times, again, sometimes you got to get time. You got to get in. He really wasn't utilized in games 1 and 2. So if you're going to bring him in, and he's like, again, especially if he was a weapon in prior series, some players it takes them, they need to be actually get some meaningful minutes to get into the rhythm of the game. So he basically this playoff.
He wasn't getting in. Jason Kidd took him off the rotation, man.
He might have been in the doghouse or something. I don't know.
He didn't get in early in the game.
They wanted more defense. That's why Jones started getting more minutes. They wanted more.
Those guys couldn't make no shots. Those guys, he made the first series, but you still Tim Hardaway Jr. gonna get you 3 to
Because
5
I
3 pointers.
agree. I thought Hardaway should have because nobody, like I said, nobody was scoring points. I'm like, hell, just I know, like Dante said, he's extremely streaky, but I'm like, nobody's making consistent shots, especially games 1 and 2. They were. That's why the game 1 was a blowout because Dallas had open looks. Nobody was hitting. So I was like, man, just throw him in. And but what I thought after game 4,
He
he
didn't even
played
play game
majority of the
3.
fourth quarter, and that's when he hit like 5 threes in a row. That's an example of his streakiness.
He
So I'm
didn't
like,
even play
okay,
game 3 though.
maybe he found some type of suit and touch. Well, I thought they was going to at least put him in a little bit in game 5, but the fact they kept him on the bench, I'm like, yeah, you definitely just out the rotation, period.
Yeah, he was
So
he
that's
was
a kid
DNP.
move.
He was DNP the last series, so that means you're not like we literally made it here without you.
Yeah, he didn't
It's
play
one of
that
those
much
deals.
this
It's like
playoffs. No.
Josh Green and what was it Derrick Jones
Jones,
Jr.
Derek Jones
Yeah,
basically
those
took his
guys are
minutes,
going
and Green
are going to
came
play
in
over
after.
him. Leva came in and he can come in and help, but it's just like if you think it. My thing is, if you say they're a better team, let's just be real, Trey. If you feel like they're the better team, I can guarantee you, Tim Hardaway Jr. wasn't going to be no difference. I guarantee you,
He
it's going to be a
averaged
difference.
15 points in the regular season. He is a part of
What,
your
what did you
rotation.
what did you just say earlier? What did you just say to Shawnee earlier about defense? This ain't the regular season. And Tim
But he
Hardaway,
can play
there are
defense
players.
though.
No,
He can check. He can check their
there are players
guards.
that can
He
play
can
in
check
the
their guards.
rotations because you can't play an 8-man rotation in a regular season.
Those
You
other
have to
guys
play
weren't playing
15
no
of guys.
defense. They was getting manhandled.
I
Why
mean,
you think
I mean,
Boston was
like you
blowing
said,
them out? They was
they're
getting
a
manhandled.
better team. But if you're gonna hang a hat on Tim Hardaway Jr., you're just absolutely wrong. I mean, it's one thing.
Dante, in basketball, you got to understand, you play your points. The players that can score you buckets play in the game until they show you that they can't do it. That's
Yeah,
basketball. Football's different.
I hear you. I just don't think he
Man,
wasn't
he can
gonna
get
go.
you 15 points a game. We can win with that.
All right. Now Poppy Blanco out there, he's making a note that I guess in the Clippers series, he had a sprained ankle from that series. So I don't know if he was 100%. So that could have been the reason why he was losing some minutes in that. Again, I hadn't heard that. No one brought that up in the series. And again, you didn't hear a lot of this noise during the Minnesota series as well. But apparently, that could have been the reason why he was not out there. Also, I don't know if you guys are closer to it than I was. Was there any news made about that sprain?
I know that at one point he was working his way back, but when I'm looking through the logs here, he wasn't a part of the playoff rotation much. Like I want to say, he played 17 minutes in game. I'm going because I don't think he played almost at all in the Western Conference Finals. So now I got to go back. I mean, yeah. So now I got to go back to the second round. It's OKC. 17. He played 17 minutes, 1 of 5, 0 for 4 from 3. So I'm just gonna go down the logs here of what he did in that series. They lost that game. I want to say game 2 they won. I'm gonna look at his stats here and see what he did. Looks like he played 19 minutes or 17 points. So good game. He was 6 to 10 shooter, so he was effective in the part of the rotation in that game. Let's see, game 3, what did he do? They won that one. Let's see how many minutes did he play. He had 16 minutes. He had 8 points, 3 of 9 shooting. So he's a part of the rotation. They win that game. Did they win game? Yep. They won the next one. Let's see here. Just checking out his rotation minutes here. And give me a second. Oh, he played 12 minutes. He had 5 points. So it's kind of like his.
So the bottom line is, so he played in the majority of the games in that series.
Yeah, he played.
He got minutes in every game pretty much.
Yeah,
it looks like he got minutes in every game, and then it looks like the Minnesota series. Maybe it wasn't a matchup for him. Mm-hmm. It might have been a situation where he was not a matchup, and that happens. I don't think it's. Let's be real. I want to pivot completely away from Tim Hardaway Jr. We have to completely talk about, and this is for people that I've seen that when people win or lose a series, people go crazy to the left or to the with their reactions. People were like, man, Kyrie. I was like, bro, he's a number 2. Like, it was like, that's disrespect. This series, show me a number 1 guy that has played in a series against a former team and just looked like this. In Boston, he has absolutely been abysmal. OKC
Yep.
series, he had some games that were rough too. Hey man, he's a number two guy. The load is carried by Luka. He can come up big in moments. He plays great in the fourth quarter most times. But it's just like, look, we've seen the book on Kyrie. And it's just like, hey, I think he's a fantastic player. He's better than I give him credit for at times. But series like this, I'm disappointed. I had higher expectations for him than this, and so did the Mavericks. For the most part, Luka did enough to keep him in position. Kyrie, as the number two guy, did not. And then we know no, the number three guy on down for the Mavericks, it didn't work, and they were not better than the guys on the other side. And
PJ
so
didn't
that's
show
what
up.
we need to get the focus.
PJ Washington didn't show up. He shot terrible.
That's number three.
Yeah,
That's
a lot of guys didn't show up, but Kyrie's performance in Boston, I think he was under 35% shooting. In Boston, really bad from the free throw line. From the 3-point line. The only game he really broke out was game 3. We scored 35, but again, certainly subpar numbers for the 3 games that he played in Boston. So I don't know if that was just a block with. I know the fans were on him or whatnot, but he never struck me as the type of guy who would care about that. But certainly he did not play up to what the Mavericks needed him to be, especially in game 1 when they made that run to cut the lead down to either to 6 or 8. And certainly he wasn't part of, he wasn't able to really help them kind of get over that, give it over a hump. I don't think he hit a 3-pointer, I think, in that game 1 series. So, really his lack of, certainly his lack of scoring definitely hurt him. But again, give credit to Celtics defense overall. I think they held them under 100 points the entire series. I think they only went over 90 points, only a couple times in the series. So again, I thought they did a great job just overall guarding 1-on-1. They didn't play a lot of zone or whatnot. I mean, they stuck to Luka as much. Luka's going to get his, but I thought they were very good playing 1-on-1. And I just thought that I thought the defense that they brought was just better. And I think Luka, if it was a conditioning problem for him, but that definitely showed up in the last 2 games. It was something I think Jaylen Brown, those guys, I think they just warmed out.
I got a question for you real quick. Do you think Anthony Edwards and Drew Holiday is basically kind of on the same level defensively?
Drew is special. Certainly, I would certainly give him the edge over. What's that?
I think Edwards got the height over Holiday.
He may have the height, but Drew has a dog. He can score, and he has that dog in him. I mean, that was probably the most important acquisition that they made in the offseason. I'd certainly much more than Porzingis. So, but I think Drew is a lockdown defender, and then that was the difference over the last point guard they had, who they loved. I mean, my green hair guy, they loved him. It was sad to see him go, but Drew was just going to bring that extra element to it. Over that, so I don't know. And again, the guy from Minnesota, he was the one. He said he wanted Kyrie, right? He was the one to call him out, and then Kyrie dogged him. So I don't know if you can even make a case that he could be this great defensive guy if he wanted to challenge and he didn't live up to it.
That's what I was getting at, because the reason why Kyrie struggled so much this series, mainly because of Holiday. Now, I think Edwards is pretty much, of course, you got to look deep into these defensive metrics and all this stuff to see how effective a player is on defense. But Edwards is a good defender.
Mm-hmm.
But with Edwards, he is also the team's #1 scorer. He was wearing himself out chasing Kyrie, and they said, "You can't do that. You can't do that." Drew, he can afford to spend his time on Kyrie because if Porzingis is in there, he's #4 scorer. If he's not, he could be #3 or between him and White. So
Right.
with Holiday, he can put his focus. They say your mission is Kyrie, and damn it, that's what he was. He's stronger than Kyrie. I believe they got the same height. Maybe Holiday has an inch on Kyrie. But
I think he's just a bigger. I think he's just a bigger frame.
So
I mean,
Kyrie could not bully him.
Yeah.
He's not going to bully anybody.
Right.
He's how old is Holiday? What, 34? Still have lateral. You saw that in the Indiana series when Nembhard I guess basically kind of lost Holiday on that potential game winning shot, but Holiday recovered and came back and stole the ball from him.
Yeah.
So he still have lateral quickness. So that is reason #1 why Kyrie struggled the way he did in series. Holiday,
he's special. I mean,
based to answer your own question, who you think is the better defender? Holiday
I
or
don't.
Anthony Edwards, because they both checked Kyrie Irving in their one-on-one matchup. So
Yeah,
who you
but Edwards also has the weight of his team offensively. So
well,
he was
Who
wearing
playing
himself
three?
out.
that's
He
not
was wearing
Kyrie
himself
Irving's
out.
fault. That's not
No,
that,
it's
It's
not his
not
fault.
Kyrie,
team.
but I mean,
No,
Drew
look,
doesn't
Michael
have that
Jordan did
offensive
it.
weight.
Michael Jordan did it. He ain't
Wait,
complained.
wait,
He
whoa,
ain't.
whoa, whoa,
He did it.
whoa, whoa, whoa. When we do the whole
He
Jordan
did it.
thing, we gotta,
Jordan didn't go against
we
nobody like
can't really say.
Kyrie, who's
Oh,
shifty
now
as
when he
hell.
definitely has somebody like
Yeah,
Jordan never guarded the best player. That's
exactly.
true.
That's where
That was Scottie
straight
Pippen's
that
job.
up. That
That
and
was
Jordan
Scotty's
never.
job.
I
He
love it when
guarded
OG
them in key
tell the
moments.
truth.
He didn't guard
OG,
them the whole
like I'm
game.
saying, I'm not taking anything away from Jordan, but sometimes we quick to throw the label of he was the best scorer, best defender, and then it's just like there's some people that played in his era that would pause that. There's some people that watch more intensely than I have, so I never get into that one. But it's just like when you go and look at it, I'll just say this: Drew Holiday, for being 34, I want to say he's 34, but the awareness and just the instincts and the fact that I want to say Anthony Edwards, you should have known smart enough, but you're young, you don't know. Oh yeah, I won't. Like,
That was the
don't
coach.
don't
But
go don't go poking and stuff if you don't need to. Like
Feel
but
like
just
that's
that.
bad
go out
coaching.
and play.
That's bad coaching. That's bad coaching. Because as
Oh,
a coach,
that coach coached terrible that series.
but,
Mhm.
He
but it
coached
wasn't the
terrible.
head coach. But as a coach, you don't put your
Well,
number
he
one
was coaching
scorer
from the
on
second row.
as score on the other team. No, you get over and get the dude averaging 8 points a game. That's the way you do it. Now,
Yeah.
Is the rebuttal to your question, is Drew Holiday a Hall of Famer?
I got to give it to him. He's got 2 championships with 2 separate organizations. Yeah, I think he's put. I'm not going to say he's first ballot. It may take him a minute to get in there, but yeah, I think he's with this championship. I think he stamped on his resume a Hall of Fame ticket. I do.
If he get one more, I think he's a Hall of
He's a
Famer.
2-time champion, a 2-time NBA All-Star, 3-time NBA Defensive First Team, 3-time Defensive Second Team, and that's basically where it stops with NBA.
I
Hell,
would say he has a
I know
strong
the
case.
NBA Pro Basketball is the easiest Hall of Fame to get access to, but I don't know. Right now, I say he not yet. Because if you let Holiday in, I mean, you
But I
really
mean, but again, he was the I think he was the difference this year. Again, I know Porzingis. I know, but again, he's brittle. He's injury prone or whatnot. I know he was their third scorer on the team. But again, you saw the value of Drew Holiday clearly in this series. I mean, he had a breakout game too. And I think just overall with the series, I think the Celtics got it, unlike Dallas. And I think Poppy said this as well. They simply did not have a third scorer. Whereas Boston, they had a third scorer like every night. If it wasn't Porzingis game 1 when he had that breakout, then it was Drew game 2 or White. Certainly his contribution. So they just found it from everywhere. Somebody stepped up on any given night. And that's hard to defend when you don't know who's going to be that breakout guy. But Dallas, they just could not find it from anyone. In the series, the guy at the in the game 5 hit all those 3-pointers and whatnot. But that was like, they were already down. It was like the series was pretty much wrapped up by that point. So I think they just sort of left them open to hit those shots. But they just did not have a reliable third option. And I don't want to say the Celtics had one. Their third option was like, pick your guy for any given night. So that's hard to game plan for. We just don't know who's going to be that breakout guy.
It was just so much.
I see in the comments, man. Nah, I can admit, look, I picked this one wrong. I mean, you could tell after the first 2 games, I picked this one wrong. But the Celtics being the better team, and the Celtics, I put it on this. I put a lot on Luka as the top guy in some of his times. The defense. I want to say you've been calling them to stop him on defense for the longest. And like Ashani just said, if you didn't hear, basically they can hide him against Minnesota because you got Gobert, you got guys that can't really do much offensively. You couldn't do that with the Celtics, and I think that was the biggest difference. Where they could attack him. I mean, you fouled him out, so you clearly attacking him. But the fact that Kyrie just not stepping up and playing well enough as a number 2 guy, and it's something that they did mention in DFW radio. He is 32, and he is a smaller guard that's injury prone. Has he kind of lost some stuff? Because there were some times, hey, that crashing and getting to the cup is wonderful. But the other times he was getting to the cup, and hey man, that guy set the 3 in there, and it's getting stuffed. We're not getting there. I saw Luka a couple times get to the rack, and it's just like, There's no separation. There's nothing there. So it was like it was a better team. So yeah, that's right. I admit that. Hats off to the Celtics. I hate it, but they did win. I got that one wrong. But once again, I know you kept saying about the defense. We're sitting here talking about the Mavericks didn't score under 100. I know what you're saying, but it still goes back to the defense thing. Obviously, I picked the wrong team, but the Celtics, clearly their defense led it. They didn't give up over 100 in the series.
It was Boston's series to lose. It was Boston's championship to lose.
Yeah.
When they did the deep to trade and Drew Holiday went to Portland, I was worried. Like, for watching Lakers stuff, I was just like, they're never going to trade with us. Portland has never done a trade with the Lakers. But it was like Drew Holiday just sitting there, and we was just kind of like, and then when the Celtics made it, it was kind of like every Lakers fan that's in the know is kind of like, that's a lot that this team has. Then when they started fast, it was kind of like, hey, this team looks legit. The Porzingis thing was going, he was healthy, and then, of course he got injured, but they had so much. They had so much for veterans, younger guys, and I want to say this, there were a lot of people that questioned Jaylen Brown because of the handle and all the different things, and how bad do they look that he didn't make the All-NBA team and he's the Finals MVP? How bad does that look for some of the people that may have made that? Like, I'm sorry. I know we love scoring. You clearly could say Jaylen Brown deserves to be on All-NBA and Devin Booker. Go ahead and sit out this year. And it's just like we're so focused sometimes on offense, and a guy that he doesn't go left, he doesn't this. Somebody else that can't dribble that's going to be in the Hall of Fame is Klay Thompson. That guy, his handle, I like it. He doesn't just run off screens because he's a great blowout defender, great handle. Dribbling is not everything. It's very important. There's other skill sets. So for everyone that, his contract is this, it's like you kind of got to eat a little crow too, and just recognize, hey, the guy has a great skill set, and that finally this tandem did go through and make it. It did win. I feel like for you, I don't know how you feel, Mr. Bennett, as far as all the picks and all the swaps and the things that you had, and it all turned into these two guys. I think you could say it's worth it because all of the conference final trips, all the lists that they're on, and now they can put champion by it. You got to give props to, to Ainge, you got to give props to, what's the old brother coach that's in the front office now? You got to give him props.
Yeah, Brad Stevens. Yeah. I thought he did a masterful job putting this together. And again, I know you talk about Brown. Brown certainly got his, certainly got credit, certainly for, getting the MVP. I thought he played brilliantly in the series on both sides of the ball. And I got to give credit to Tatum also. Now, look, I've been somewhat of a Tatum critic, as you guys know, certainly in these playoffs, and even in the finals, I didn't see him show up. But again, he did a lot of the dirty stuff. He basically became the point guard on his team, very reminiscent of when Kobe in that 2010 finals against Boston, where he was mostly the facilitator. I think he was the leader in assists. And I think he just changed his game, and he would just simply focus on, again, winning. More so than just being, okay, I got to be the man, I got to take over in the game or whatnot. That didn't, but I think certainly the fact that they were getting all this scoring from all these other guys. I mean, White is like a reliable and consistent scorer, especially from the 3-point line. When you have Drew and even when Porzingis came in, again, there's so much that, he was able to be that guy, so he never was in a position where it's like, okay, look, you got to bail us out. So I think he played certainly a good series to win the championship. Are all of the critics going to be off his back? Who knows? But certainly when you have that kind of support from a cast that allows you to just completely change your game up and essentially become a point guard and facilitator in the game, then I think that takes a lot of the pressure off. Now, but again, is he going to be in that position in the future? And we're going to talk about that. Okay, well, where do the Celtics go from here? Like, how many rings do you think they, that's in them once they kind of got over this hump, which was been on them for the past 7 years? They got over this hump. They got their ring. Now what? Now where do we see these guys going from there? Because I still think, and I saw them play Denver a couple times this year. I didn't like how they looked against Denver. I think part of is any series style, matchups make, is important. I don't know if Denver was in you got to win to get in. I get that, but I still think Denver would have been still problematic for this team. I still think to an extent that Denver is still the standard bearer that they need to get over. But certainly the Celtics What do you guys think the Celtics? How far can Tatum and Brown take this? How many championship runs do you think they still have in them? So they've had 2 in the last 3 years. So how long do you think they can run? How many more championships do you think they may get?
If they bring back the whole team, I think they can get one more out of it. If they can bring back that entire team, maybe get a little beefier, because Porzingis has to be healthy. He's been injured almost every year he's been in the league. It's something with his little big, long, sleek feet and little skinny legs. So he's going to have to improve health-wise. But they get another beef, I think, with Tatum and Brown and Holiday and White. And let me give a shout-out to old-ass Al Horford. Because he was banging them threes when they needed it. I'm glad the old man got one. But if they can bring back that team, man, I'm telling you, I can see them being coming out of the East again.
Well,
I can see it.
Boston fans, be careful not to be so quick on. It's not really Boston fans. I hear a lot of national media how they're so quick to whoever wins the championship this season, they quick to put them as start talking about back to back.
Right, the prohibitive favors for next year. And I thought going in, I know Denver didn't have the best season this year, record wise, but again, I thought just being the champion, I thought they would just sort of turn it up at the end. I was not expecting them to lose in this series. I expected a Boston-Denver matchup, so that was certainly to my surprise. But I still think that matchup is going to be a lot different than Dallas. I think with Dallas, I don't think anybody was picking Dallas to be there.
Dallas reminds me of old Houston with Harden, but they got 2 people instead of 1. Harden dribble, move the ball. It's easy to focus your defense on him. Dallas, okay, it's easy to focus our defense on you 2 guys, Luka and Kyrie, and make it hell for everybody else because they depend on you. Boston, they remind me of Houston with the amount of 3-pointers they shoot up, but they also have some movement. And
they play and the defense though, because with Houston, but Harden they had no defense at all.
They got Chris Paul, but they still wasn't on the level as Boston. But Boston, all 5 of their guys can ultimately put the ball on the floor.
Yeah,
they need to. Horford can put the ball on the floor. You saw it in Game 5 when he put the ball on the floor against some big man. I think Gafford or Lively. Took him to the paint. But remember last season, the Timberwolves, I believe, challenged the Nuggets the best during their whole playoff run. Then when they saw them again this year, they beat them. The team that challenged, I guess you could say the team that challenged Boston this year was Indy, even though they got swept. But I believe they got swept a lot because of their youth. Clearly their clutch, if you put it like on NBA Live, whatnot, and their clutch rating was a rating, whatnot, their clutch rating was low because that's when they folded. They had 3 games they could have won, and they just had some uncharacteristic NBA type mistakes they was making that cost them all 3 of those games. But maybe next year, it could be a potentially, because I just seen Siakam. He just signed an extension to stay with Indy, so he was huge versus.
He was, yeah.
So that's the thing. You got that team better. You got the best of that team this year, but now that team is gonna. I'm pretty sure Minnesota making their moves so they can get over the Denver hump. Indiana is gonna make their moves to get over the Boston hump.
Well, if they can.
They're going to get over the New York hump first.
Well, New York, they got to get over themselves. They break down.
Way too many injuries on that team. And I saw Randall, who was on the ESPN show. My man looks like he's 40 years old, man. He might want to retire, man. He's like, I don't know if he's got too much. I don't think he's got too much left of the tank. But speaking about, okay, so we talked about again, what did the Mavericks need to do to get back to the finals if they're going to make a run? Because I know Trey, and I agree with Trey. I think Denver is still going to be relevant. So certainly next year, a Boston-Denver series is not out of the question. But is Dallas going to improve? Now I know Poppy. He had also suggested in the chat that they might want to go after Klay Thompson. I don't know. Klay is like in his 30s now. He's not the same player as he was 7-8 years ago. I don't know if you think he would be a good addition to this team, especially if Hardaway's not going to be a long your solution. Would bringing in a vet with championship experience like Klay Thompson, would that be you think a good move for them? Because last I heard, I think the Warriors were certainly in position to maybe move away from him at that point, thus ending the threesome with with those guys in Golden State. So what do you think? Could he be a difference maker to the Mavericks, helping them to get over that hump?
Well, first,
I don't think he. I don't know.
Dante, you froze.
You're breaking up a little bit, Dante.
Yeah, Dante, your audio is going in and out.
All right, go ahead, Sean. What do you think? Just chime on that real quick.
Dallas chance on next. I actually think they have a good team. They just need. Of course, they need to improve on one piece. They need to find a consistent third scorer. Now that could have been Tim Hardaway, but Tim Hardaway that's been his thing pretty much ever since the Mavs gave him his extension. He's always been too inconsistent. So they've been trying to figure out ways how to trade him or whatnot, but his contract is they're anchored. It's hard to trade him or do anything with him. If they find a consistent third score, they can improve. But then I believe they have a good team, but to me, I look at them like the Harden era of the Rockets. They put the ball too much in Luka's hand. I remember one of the games when they lost in the finals, Kyrie, I think it was game 3. Kyrie was working.
Yeah, he was cooking.
He was working
for sure. Yeah.
Luka was the one who was killing Kyrie's momentum. Luka kept holding the ball. Kyrie was working, give him the ball so he can go, because Kyrie plays faster than Luka. Luka was the one who kept holding and killing Kyrie's momentum. It wasn't Boston.
Mm-hmm.
That type of stuff right there. Dallas is a good team, but you can't. And Harden showed, he gave plenty of examples of this. You cannot leave your offense to one player and let him dribble the ball and then just kick it out to everybody. You need to have some type of motion in your offense. Like with Boston, they hit you trying to hit up Tatum and Brown. Next thing you know, White is hitting over threes. It's a backbreaker. The offense is coming from everywhere. Dallas, I guess it's everybody, like in game 4, everybody hitting. Okay, that's easy to blow out a win like that. But you have to find a way to install motion offense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with as great of a talent as Luka is, if you're going to continue to play like that, this year you happen to play against the Timberwolves, who's the perfect match for, because I don't think that would have happened versus Denver. Styles make fights, but Minnesota was a great matchup for Denver. Denver didn't take care of their business.
Right.
So it's just that particular style, and Boston showed you, like, we gonna make it hell for you two. If we make it hell for you two, it's gonna make it hell for everybody else.
Right.
It's literally bite the head off the snake, and then they don't have any type of movement. So I think Dallas is a good team, but if they gonna keep playing like the way they do with Luka.
Okay, so that's the question. So Dante, so just get in on this. So the idea of, like, again, it was mentioned, having Klay Thompson as a certainly as a scorer on the team. One, what do you think of that? Could that improve their chance of getting back, or do you think, which is what I'm hearing from Shawnee, is Luka basically the problem? He may get you to the playoffs and get you into a deep run or whatever, but at the end of the day, is he going to be a liability due to his conditioning, his lack of defense, his ball hogging, limitations on everybody or whatever? Can they win with Luka long term? And we were just talking about it near the beginning of the show. He is going to be due for a max deal, if not a super max deal, at some point. Do you give it to him? If he's gonna be your liability, how can you justify giving him a max for a guy who doesn't play defense, and he's not going to be a guy who's going to make the guys around him better? So on those two issues, adding Klay and can they win if Luka's still going to be there? And I guess thirdly, would you even consider giving him the Supermax deal?
I don't absolutely just love the idea of adding Clay because the one thing is you would ideally, the issue with the Mavericks initially before Kyrie got there, you only got one ball handler. You're wearing Luka out. And you got two ball handlers, or both the ball handlers dominate the ball, and then not. Luka's a great assist guy because he's kicking it, because he's drawing the guys in, but he's not a ball moving point guard like a la Chris Paul. But I do think anybody as a third scorer, an upgrade from Clay to Derek, what's his name? PJ Washington helps. So if you're adding Klay Thompson and he's the top guy and it pushes PJ down, I think that certainly helps. It is a wing lead. Absolutely, it's a wing lead. And for him being in the corner or using motion and then Luka getting him the ball or Kyrie hitting him with the ball, that would be amazing. I'm worried about the age. Sometimes when you're in Golden State and with the younger guys with Moody and them, I think it could work there, but then you go somewhere else and then your efficiency so a little bit more. It's like, oh, he can't this or he, and then it kind of works. So but if you're this close to a championship, you may as well risk it. And I will say, I think it'll be easier to get him to come off the ball than to become a better defender. I think it'll be easy to be like, look, we got to move the ball. And you can, again, I would show him an hour PowerPoint. Look at this guy standing in the court and watching you move. He might as well get a ticket. He might as well get a ticket because you were dominating the ball. And they showed the clips. They were like, look at Kyrie dribbling. Look at this. He's dribbling. It's 3 seconds up on the shot clock. He's playing hot potato. Nah, don't pass me the ball. Go on, ride with the ship. Take that shot. Take that bad shot if you're dreaming the clock. So now they gotta fix that. That's more fixable. The defense and the attitude, that's tougher, but not without question, Mr. Bennett. I'm giving them that max contract and sleeping like a baby. I'm sleeping good. Like you're not gonna find another top guy, but Shawnee, effectively for the remainder of the show, and anytime we're doing the show, let's refer to him as Slovenian Harden. Like I've seen it so many times online. His player comp couldn't be more complete with him and James Harden there.
Yeah, and Mavericks fans, they try their best to avoid that.
With the same player.
They try their best to avoid that, but it's the truth. I mean, Luka is no different than Harden.
Listen, keep Luka, sign him to the contract. Just make sure he gets in shape. Get a bigger body. Get some big bodies. They need to get it. They got the shooters. I get another shooter. Or PJ Washington, he gonna have to step his game up. He look like a little kid out there sometimes. He gonna have to get better. He's a shooter. Bring in a guard. Just all they need. They need the 4. Address the 4, the 3, and the 2 for Dallas, and they'll be okay.
I think
that's what they need.
Oh my bad, Trey. I just want to point out the reality of today's NBA fans. You got a dude who just led his team to the NBA Finals, and boys always talking about trade him. I'm like, well, it's not. He wasn't playing on the Pistons. They lost in the NBA Finals, and you already talking about trade him and have your team start over. I'm like, wow. Oh, man. That's what the Pistons do.
Yeah, the Pistons let Monty. They let him go.
I think that's a good thing for Monty.
They owe him $65 million.
Yeah.
Please and thank you, sir. I'm out. I'm out.
That's right. He's not the Luka's not the only one that don't play defense. That's the thing. He's not the only one. But I want to say is I don't want to give the Celtics too much credit, but the facts are what they are. We have done a list. They've consistently come out with that list of, man, look at the All-NBA team and all the Europeans. Oh, look at the MVPs. All right, let's bring out that list of finals MVPs and European players.
Listen, man.
You will see Nikola Jokic. You will see Giannis Antetokounmpo, who does play both sides. You know, one of the that do. I give him his credit. And now look at the rest. Just look at the rest. And let's before we get we do get out of hand with that. I did have to point out that we got I want to say the other besides the guys on the first team, Sabonis. He made the All-NBA team, and the rest of it was an American war player. It's not as big as it's not as big as the thing as y'all say. Y'all are kind of making it a bigger deal, like they're just coming over and taking over the game. And I understand how it feels, but when you play now to the top moment,
Dante, I know you're making a lot of excuses for your Mavericks, but listen, it was Boston's series to lose this year. It was Boston's championship. Dallas didn't have a chance. Whether Luka was playing good defense or not. It's over.
No, this is my team right here. That's why when Mr. Bennett was like, you had to go off here. I was like, nah, I got to rep. You got to ride with the team, good, bad, or whatever. But I'm just making a point that so many people want to say about the European guys, how much better they are. And I just want to prove that point. It's just like, guys, they are excellent. But
I got you.
This is, you know.
I got you. All right, so we got. I think we got a couple guys. I think we got a couple guys in the chat. I know Poppy's been itching to get at us. I know Trey might be out there. Who's with us? Pop, you there?
It's Trey. I'm here.
Trey, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, I'm here, but please.
All right, now keep it respect. Now look, now you got. I saw the chat going back and forth. Let's keep this decent, man. But y'all been going at it. Go ahead.
I'm filing charges. Man. I'm filing charges on this dude, man. This man say, Trey Luka, man, come on, man.
So,
how you doing today?
Doing good, man. Good to hear from you, brother. Good. All right, so Trey is of the opinion is that look, basically the Luka experiment is over, and Mavericks just need to move on from Luka. That's so Trey, you want to take that on? Then Pop, you can just follow up and have your rebuttal to it. But go ahead, Trey. What you got?
Yeah, what's up, fellas? Look, one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of these GMs will make is they start to fall into this trap of, well, we just were in the finals. There's no guarantee you'll ever go back to the finals. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of players that are playing right now that went to a championship and never went back. There's no guarantee. Now, if you're a front office guy, you cannot be looking at it like, oh, we can get back. No, what you need to be looking at is, if we trade Luka, what can we get for him right now? Because I'm telling you, they got exposed in that finals. Luka got exposed in that finals. There is a blueprint on how to play them from here on out. Mm-hmm. You better get something for Luka now before all these other teams start to realize, oh, yeah, no, just do it like this. We ain't got to worry about Dallas. This is why I'm saying Denver is still a problem in the West. It's extremely difficult to repeat. Y'all know that. It's very difficult to repeat just on schedule alone. So I don't expect for teams to just come right back and win another championship. But because Golden State had this issue. Golden State, it's difficult to win them back to back. But can you take a year off, come back and win another one? Sure. This might be a Denver year, right? But as far as keeping Luka, you can pay that man if you want to. But every year that you guys get into the playoffs, whether it be the 5th, 6th, 7th seed or whatever, the teams are going to attack your best player. And your best player does not play any defense. He plays none. He plays the Ole Matador defense. Every time, and I was watching, and I actually, Mr. Bennett, I wish I had the paper. I would show you the little. I was actually keeping notes on how many times he was on the ball handler, and how many times the ball handler went right by him, literally right by him.
Yeah, his footwork is terrible.
Yeah. When he's that guy when you playing YMCA ball, he's screaming help, 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 help every time, help. He's screaming help as soon as the guy get the ball. It's like, bro, you. In order to be on that type of level, basketball's a two-way sport. He got to be able to lock somebody down, even if it's not the number one guy.
Right.
He got to be able to lock down either the 2 or the number 3. If I'm Dallas, I say, look, we tried, we worked out. Let me get some first-round picks for him and move on. I wouldn't hold on to him knowing that his defense isn't going to get better. It's only going to get – Harden didn't get better. His defense ain't going to get better.
Trey, I have a question. You don't think if Luka, put down the little naughty head and get in better shape, you don't think his defense will improve?
No, because he has offensive footwork. He don't have defensive footwork. He has no lateral movement. He can't move side to side. That's why he's so effective on offense, because he can stop and go. He changes the pace because he's going forwards and backwards. But side to side, he can't move, which is why guys they go right around him. And that's a problem.
So you don't
that's
think
a problem, especially because he's playing a guard position. So that's a problem.
All right, Poppy, your time to retort.
Yes, I hope 90% of the people on the NBA don't play defense, especially when Lucas is in charge of the entire offense. So right there alone, you're wrong, Trey. You my guy, man. Trey, I can't believe you even come over here and suggest. You actually have the audacity to suggest to the Dallas Mavericks, to the GM. I don't know who's the GM in Dallas. Who's the GM? I don't know the name.
His brother. I forgot his name.
It don't matter. John Doe. You suggested to John Doe to trade a man that is 24 years old, that haven't even get into his prime for some first round bum ass picks. Like, bro, do you listen to yourself, man? You act like they got Lucas just growing up every day. Like, yeah, we just gonna go to USC real quick and pick up a Luka real quick. Yeah, this is easy right here. Yeah, the future of the future face of the NBA. We just gonna trade him today. He cannot play defense, bro. Kyrie don't play defense. Do you know who also don't play defense? Stephen Curry. That man is terrible at defense. Guess what? Nobody bring that up. That man is the top 10 players of all time, or at least top 15. Let's just to make it easy on your top 15. Can we agree on that? Nobody bring up his defense.
Well, I was about to bring up Steph Curry because Steph was a liability on defense, and he's not known to be a lockdown defender. But what Steph did was made himself. He put more effort, and that's really all defense is. Yes, defensive ability is a skill set. We're not asking Luka to be a Drew Holiday. He just needs to show more effort, and that's what Steph did. You show more effort, and then the Warriors at the time was a very good defensive team. The Mavericks,
Clay and Draymond.
Yeah, they was a very good defensive team, but Luka,
Clay definitely for sure.
But if you give effort, then we can work with that, and that's what potentially can improve with Luka. Somebody will put that to his head. But yeah, I'm trading Luka right now.
I'm seeing Luka doing this, looking around.
Yeah, but
man, they showed looking around, getting beat. Passing there, they like, look, they were like not awareness, and I was like, come on, bro. They
your mic is crazy, brother.
Yeah, it's kind of shutting out.
You're probably gonna have to exit out and come back in. It's probably gonna fix it.
Mr. Bennett, here's the issue when you bring up the Steph Curry. We always conveniently forget that when they played Cleveland in the finals, what did Cleveland do to Steph Curry? They attacked him. They repeatedly put him in pick and roll situations, and they attacked him. And that's how they beat the Warriors that year.
Right.
So I can't speak for why other teams don't attack Steph Curry. I don't quite understand how NBA teams strategize, because a lot of the times it doesn't make sense. Because I would go after your worst defensive player. I didn't interrupt you, Bobby. Go
ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
We'll go after your worst defensive player every team I played. I don't understand why they don't do that. I can't explain it. But I will say this, though. Steph also makes you work on the other side. No matter who's guarding him, you're going to work twice as hard on the other side of the ball because you got to chase him around for 40 minutes. You can't say that about Luka. Luka does a lot of standing around, even sometimes on offense. There's a ton of standing around.
Yeah, the game slows down with Steph. I mean, he's going to be running those screens or whatnot. He runs for 40 minutes. So I think they're just totally different players.
But Trey, I want to, because you brought up with Steph and the reason why.
Let me say this real quick, Shawnee. Let's go into like 10 seconds. The reason why Cleveland won that series because Steph and the entire team went cold, bro. When you're that elite of the player, fan, there is nothing you can do about it. The only thing, it's like the same thing with Kyrie. Everybody say, "Oh yeah, Drew, stop on a man, stop it." Yo, I watched all the games, man. He was missing layups, bro. That man was missing wide open shots, bro. The only people that can stop is themselves, bro. That's it.
It was a stat line they shared when Holiday was the primary defender on Kyrie. It was staggering. So Holiday definitely had influence in Kyrie's missing shots. He challenged a lot of his shots when he was on Kyrie. But
Holiday's an elite defender.
Yeah, but so the point I was bringing, because you brought up the point about Steph when they lost against Cleveland. Okay, Steph at that time, even still today, he's not an elite defender. So according to how you were saying about Luka, because they lost that game with Steph not being an elite defender, according to you, they should have traded Steph because he's not an elite defender because he was getting attacked on.
Again, Luka and Steph are two different players. You're trying to compare.
I know.
We're comparing apples and oranges.
Yeah,
they're not the same.
Players.
Luka does not control the game the way Steph does. They're two different players.
Your whole argument about Luka, he's not you were saying elite defender.
He's not a defender at all.
I know, but Steph at the time, he wasn't a strong defender.
He was better than this.
He has gotten better.
He was much better than Steph is better than Luka.
I know now, Luka's main thing, he doesn't give the effort. But back then, even against Cleveland, Steph was not the defender. He was probably a notch above better than Luka, but he wasn't that much better.
He just played the lanes.
So
That's all. He just
yeah,
played the lanes.
so
That's all he
according to
does.
I'm just going by the example you shared earlier
That's
because
how you play defense in the league,
Can,
though. If you're
well
not on
that's
the
what I'm
ball, you play the passing lanes. That's how
but
you're
that's what I'm
taught.
saying though. You were saying he is not an elite defender,
No, I'm
and
not. I'm not saying anything about Luka being an elite
but
defender. I
that's what
I
never
you
never
said
said
heard
in
him
the
say
comments
elite. I
though.
I
never
never
heard him
That's
said
what
say
that.
elite.
you said in
Can
the
I get in there,
comments
fellas?
about he's not an
Yeah,
elite
hang on. We got
defender.
KP from KC5. I think you're with us. How you doing tonight?
What's up, fellas? What's up,
Hey, man,
fellas?
it's good to hear from you, man. What's going on?
Nothing much. You were right, Mr. Bennett. Your Celtics did it. Shout out to them, man. Trey's right,
Oh
man.
God.
Trey is basically saying trade the guy at his highest value point. I understand it's emotional, but that guy is not gonna win nothing for you, man. Just be honest, man. He's James Harden 2.0. He's
Mm,
Olay. He's Olay. Look, he has the best opportunity now with Kyrie as the second option of scoring. It's very hard to get another guy that scores over 25. It's very hard. So, like Trey said, you can't just say, "Oh, yeah, we're going to come back and we're going to make it back." Who's to say Kyrie or somebody else doesn't get injured? All these other things factor into it. I mean, Luka Doncic is an exciting offensive player. He'll carry them. They were able to sell the Maverick to the other people that they sold it to last year. Beautiful story, da 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 da. At the end of the day, they're not winning like that, man. They're not winning like that. It was hard enough to win it with Dirk. And with Dirk did not win it with Steve Nash playing defense, guys. Y'all know that. So let's not play this game, bro. Steve Nash won the MVP and never played no damn defense. He never won nothing. He never even made the finals, guys. The finals. And we arguing about a guy that's in a league where they allow him to play offense how he wants, and then he fouls out of a game where he doesn't even play defense. How you get 6 fouls and you don't play real defense? That's
All right.
embarrassing.
That's the
Let me
thing,
hop in real quick.
KP. Luca.
I want
Oh,
to
go
ask a
ahead, Dante.
question. I want to ask a question. So trade him for what? Like that's my thing because it's one thing to theorize to trade him. Because if you say draft picks, we're looking at a draft and they do this all the time. This looks like it's going to be a down one. The next one with Cooper Flag and the other guy that's what is it, the Duke kid, so another kid from Duke that's going to be crazy. They looking to be a really good draft class. Sometimes you get those and they don't live up to the hype. So if you trade him, Kyrie's also 32. So you're gonna put the head. So you may as well just blow it up, trade him, and now you're just starting over. You know how long it would take you. Look at the 76ers. They tried that. Those guys wasn't good enough. Drew Holiday wasn't good enough. Funny thing. They
Trust the
traded him and
process.
they trusted the process, and they still haven't gotten past the second round. So I'm just letting you know what y'all saying is still absolute bananas to me. But if just taking a step back and saying, you know what, trade a guy for his higher value, but for what? I need to trade him for somebody that's a two-way player. Because you're right, y'all are right in the standpoint of everybody that's winning right now, they're winning because you can't have that guy on the floor that can play 82 games that's only one side of the floor. Like the Timberwolves, they had guys in the game that you could not play on offense. You playing 4-on-5, we just gonna lock your guys up and leave him open. What you gonna do? Shoot. And then on the other end, Luka, if you can't play defense, I'm going to attack you until they pull you out of the game. But you're the best player. They're not going to sub you out. So I'm going to attack you every possession. So, all you can do, in my opinion, we said, is he has to improve and find something in defense that he can do, but and just give better effort. But trading him, that's just bananas to me. I think I could.
Y'all do understand that we're talking about a man who's been playing professional professional basketball since he was a teenager.
yeah.
He has not improved.
No.
He has not. He hasn't gotten better on defense. He's not going to suddenly at 27 years old become a better defender unless a coach comes in there and specifically targets Luka and says, "Hey." And I don't know if Jason Kidd's that guy. Jason Kidd wasn't known as a great defender either. He's a great point guard, but he wasn't known as the greatest defender. He played defense, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't known as a great defender. So you have to bring a coach in there that's going to address Luka and say, hey, the same way Phil Jackson had to come in there and talk to Shaq, the same way Phil Jackson had to come in there and talk to Kobe, had to talk to Jordan about sharing the ball, you're going to have a coach with some credentials to come in there and say, hey, look, we're going to lose for as long as you are a liability on defense. Now, I do agree with you guys when you're saying about effort. He does need to give more effort. I agree with that 100%.
Right.
But at this point in time, if you're going to get something for Luka, you do it now. You do it right now.
Right.
And what I notice about Dallas fans are, y'all want every year y'all want to win right now. You don't have to win. You don't have to win right now. You can trade them for future picks down the line and build this team. You just got new. You got new ownership. You just got new ownership.
But Trey, talking about the effort, do you think even that can improve? Because again, the defense, I think some guys, I think just might be a little bit more gifted than not on defense. Not everybody could be a great defensive player. But as far as effort, he's been he's the man in Slovenia. I think it was Trey had mentioned that earlier. So no one put pressure on him to give any more effort there, and no one's really giving the pressure in Dallas. So I don't think even that are his work habits. I mean, his conditioning. I mean, would he be willing to go and shed about 15 pounds and really get into some shape? Especially with all the Supermax money on, is he even capable of that? I don't think he is. And I think that some guys, it's like fighters. Some guys it's like, okay, you need to lose weight or whatever. Some guys just like to be big and fight. I mean, it's just that's just normal to them. So I don't know if he gets on that kind of extreme, strict diet and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if he would be the same player, to be honest.
You made a great.
Can somebody name 3 players better than Luka, please? Can somebody tell me that?
Like, come on, don't do that, bro.
Jokic,
don't do that.
Giannis, Embiid, Tatum, they're all better than him.
Yes.
Tatum is no better than Luka.
I just gave you
Stop.
4.
No, but you lying. No GM in the league with the right mind would pick goddamn Tatum over Luka, man. Like, come on now, bro. Like, come on.
Okay, you can have that stance all you want, but just because the guy can score some points. I mean, we've seen a lot of guys score points, man. What are you talking about? I mean, this is a league.
Bro, you expect? Okay, let me ask you this.
And he don't play no defense.
Do you expect a guy that's gonna give you 30+ games, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, on top of that play defense? How many of those players gonna do that, bro?
Yes.
Like, you gotta be realistic, bro. That's not how the NBA works, man. The NBA don't work like that, man. Stop it, bro.
Michael Jordan did it. Michael played defense.
Jesus Christ.
LeBron,
that's a lie. Scottie Pippen. Time out. Scottie Pippen was the #1 defender on that thing. Stop it. LeBron James pick and choose. LeBron James pick and choose when he was playing defense. Stop it. Stop it, bro.
Listen. Nobody's making an argument that Luka needs to be an elite defender.
Really.
I'm not making that argument. He needs to play defense, period. Effort. He doesn't play any. If I was his teammate, I would be pissed with Luka. I don't give a damn if you're the #1 guy or not.
And you get traded too.
But actually, I would be happy because if you traded me, I probably have a chance to win a championship because you ain't gonna win one in Dallas. You ain't winning one in Dallas,
bro.
Not like that.
Listen to what you're saying, Trey. These guys were in the finals. That means they are 1 player away to win it all.
No,
can we agree on that?
No, that's not how it
Can we agree on that?
No.
Do you understand that the main reason why Dallas didn't win because they didn't have a third scorer? I hope you know that. Like, were you watching the games?
They needed.
Luka gave you 29. Kyrie gave you about 26. They needed a third person to bring to give you at least 17, bro.
Right. You're making so many excuses for this team. It's unreal. It is unreal.
I say it like this. Because I'm not a Mavs fan, but I do live in the DFW area. So, like with Dante, we hear how they are with Luka. The frustrations with Luka has been with him ever since. Like we was joking around saying they was calling him the Slovenian Westbrook. He's a stat stuffer, but he's an elite offensive talent. And the success, I just keep it to this year. The reason why they made it to the finals, of course, it merged perfectly with Kyrie this year, but it was greatly due to parts of Luka. So with Luka and his age currently, 24, 25 years old, he is perennial NBA first team. They made it to the finals. They lost to a better team and a better all-around team. I don't care if Luka and Kyrie would have went off, both of them. It would have literally been 2 versus 5 the way Boston was playing. But they lost against a better team. So now you saying immediately they should go and trade Luka. That now I can understand if you saying trade him, I guess when he's over 30, but he's still 6 years away from that. And
Why would you
good
trade him
luck
at over
telling
30? You're not gonna get anything for him.
good
That doesn't
luck
make
at
any
trying to
sense.
convince
Kevin
him,
Garnett got
the
traded. Kevin
DFW
Garnett got traded.
Metroplex, that you just traded their best player.
Charles Barkley got traded.
But Barkley, how
It was
old
all
was Barkley
already.
when he got traded?
He was
He
in his
disagreeing
20s.
with
Yeah.
your point. Getting traded
Just
over
like,
30.
I think it was about 30.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Luka is far from that right now, and he just
All right, let's just wait till he end up like James Harden.
Shawnee, can I ask you a question? The
Yeah.
way that the teams are constructed now, this Dallas team, can they win a championship? The way
and
it's
that's what I was
constructed
saying.
now.
The way that I was saying no, but good luck. And because I was saying right before you gentlemen jumped on, I was saying the way they are right now, the way that they depend so much on Luka, I was saying they're not going to win. But right now they in a no man's situation. Like you trade away Luka, like Duncan, you might as well go ahead and trade away Kyrie, and you don't know how long you're gonna be in limbo. And just the plain fact that you trading away a 24, 25-year-old franchise player who's a perennial first team player, I don't know any other team who would do something like that. Boston
Okay,
did that
let's
with
say this,
Marcus
Sean.
Can y'all hear
Smart.
me? Can y'all hear me?
Hey,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
been a while
I'm
since I haven't been up on this panel.
Hey, who's that? Is that Andre? Who's that?
It's Marcus. This is Marcus.
Marcus. Hey, man, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? Shawnee,
What's up,
Dante, Trey, Paul,
My gosh.
Bennett,
Hey, man, it's great to hear from you, man.
Blanco,
Yes,
everybody.
sir.
Listen.
Yeah,
right
and just
now,
FYI, before you go, just to level set a little bit. Again, we do have a hard stop. We got another show that's coming on after this. We can certainly continue some of this dialogue on next week's show if need be. We're supposed to talk about boxing tonight. We're supposed to talk all about stuff, but we love having you guys on. The more the merrier. So again, but we're gonna wrap this up in about 10 minutes or so. So yeah, definitely. But keep make your comments or whatever. But we may need a part 2, especially on this Luka Doncic discussion. But go ahead, bro.
I'll keep it short real quick.
All right.
Any of y'all who are throwing shade at the great Chef Curry, y'all are smoking crack. Y'all don't know what the hell's going on right now in the damn league. You respect the light-skinned brother right there, man. He put all his work in. He pushes that whatever that Davita freaking water shit. He likes all the Under Armour shit. He's the man of the freaking shot. All right. He was a back-to-back MVP. Luka, he needs to work on getting in the weight room, get some of LeBron James tips on how to work out and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Change his diet, man. I don't know. He needs,
Yeah,
them
diet, hey, man.
delicacies,
That
man.
Slovenian
He's
stuff.
he
Ain't
needs
working
to
out,
suffer,
right?
man. He's not willing to suffer,
being
man.
those MREs. Stop being those MREs out in the field every 3 or 4 days and shit. All right, stop looking like the Unabomber. He needs to stop that. All right, I understand Jaylen Brown won the Finals MVP. I understood that. He got the hops, so he drank that Space Jam juice shit. I love that. But, Kyrie Irving, Uncle Drew, I was trying to look for him, but I think he left his talents at LAX or whatever other airport he came from when he came from Brooklyn and shit. And hopefully next year, go Golden State Warriors, and go Ravens. I'm sorry, Mr. Bennett, but you and me are going to be at odds.
Neither one of them's happening. Golden State, the dynasty's over. They're going to get rid of Clay. That whole ship has passed.
Listen, I don't speak
Curry's going to be about 36,
right
37 years old. It's over.
Saying. Listen,
it's over.
y'all speaking Chinese.
In Baltimore, the Steelers whip up on Baltimore every single year. Check the record. The last 8 games against Baltimore, we own Baltimore. I'm not missing that.
Shout out to Lamar right there, man. He lost some weight. He stopped eating all the rice and shit.
Yeah.
I noticed
when he's gonna show up when he's gonna show up in a big game. When he's gonna show up in a big game.
Okay. That you gotta blame Zay Flowers. And yes, he threw an irresponsible pick. You threw an irresponsible, dumbass pick. You threw a dumbass pick, interception, and then on top of that fumble right there. But the pocket.
It's not football. Hold on,
happens, man. That shit happens.
It's not football. But I wanna. Can I say something racist?
Oh,
No.
Go ahead.
No.
This is why we need that. We need the border closed so we don't let these goddamn Mexicans come over here and talk about NBA. It should be one immigrant talk about basketball, and it's me. You goddamn Mexican shouldn't talk about no goddamn basketball, man.
Man, call ICE.
I heard go yet. I heard
Yeah,
you're allowed beans.
call
I
ICE,
heard you're
straight,
allowed
call
beans
ICE,
and
bro.
rice now again in
I'm
the
an
can.
American citizen.
Yeah, didn't you just become an American citizen?
Can you
like 2 weeks
please
ago?
translate that? Can you translate that with the bouncing ball?
I have been an American citizen since I was like.
You can stop it.
It's all right, man. Listen, hey, all I needed was a Sesame Street bouncing ball for a little bit so I could understand every A-E-I-O-U, man. That's all I needed, man. Then boiled beans and rice came back, man.
Hey, Mr. Bennett, can I let me say this?
Yes, sir. What's up, Trey? What you got to say?
Obviously, Dallas is not.
Let me call ICE, please.
Dallas is not getting rid of Luka. We know that.
Mhm.
This is just all, talk and wishful thinking. I'm
Right.
not silly enough to believe that they would trade away Luka, right?
Right.
But I think that a lot of these franchises, one of the things I always respected about Belichick is your job. You could be out of here at any time.
Right.
Any time, unless your name was Tom Brady, you could be out of here at any time, right? I think that Dallas might make a huge mistake by holding on to something they think might happen for fear of what could happen in the future, and putting all their eggs on betting on Luka the way they want to, because he got to one finals. There's a lot of guys who get to one finals. Detroit Pistons had a really good team. They won a championship, and then it just kind of faded away, right? These sort of things happen. I think Dallas is making a huge mistake by not taking a real long look at Luka, having him come into the office and say, are you going to commit to being a better defender?
Right.
And if the answer
but if that's the word, if the word is out, then again, what could you get? What could you get with him? Is a team willing to give up 2 or 3 years of first round draft picks for him? I mean,
well, you got to remember the NBA is also a business, and Luka puts asses in the seats, so that's always a part of the.
So
game.
why not Dallas's then?
No, I'm saying if Dallas wants to win, I don't think you win with this guy.
Mhm.
Unless you go out, you got to go out and go get him. You got to go out and go get him some real help, right? I love Kyrie, but I don't think Kyrie's the guy, right?
I put it like this: think about the timeline. Several years ago, Mavs was getting to the playoffs, but they was getting beat, and then they had that blowout Game 7 win versus Phoenix a couple of years ago, but then still lost, I think, in Western Conference Finals or whatnot. And last year, after the Kyrie trade, they was not a good team. Them two were still working on getting, playing with each other. But they was making steps. They was progressing. Then this year, they progressed to the NBA Finals. So they have been getting better. Now, basically, do I believe they can win with Luka? I think they can win with Luka if he makes some changes defensively. I don't think they can win with their current style. Like I said before, it reminds me of my Rockets during the James Harden era. That's easy to guard. I don't think they can win with that style. Now, if they continue to play with that style, no, I don't believe Dallas going to win. Do I believe they can win with Luka? Yes, if somebody can get in his head, damn it, give some effort on defense, and we're going to have to change something on offense. Maybe just we can't do the one-headed snake, type offense. I know Kyrie is there, but we're going to have to do more movement. So Kyrie and Luka respect the hell out of Kid, because he's been able to merge them pretty good together.
Right.
Now, I don't know if it's a Kid thing. I guess ultimately it is, because he's the head coach, that he's going to have to tell Luka, because I know people was talking about, Dallas needs Clay. I think a perfect person to put on, because you either got to put Luka in a winning culture or bring somebody from a winning culture to talk to Luka. And I think the perfect person for that would be Draymond Green. I think Draymond would
absolutely no.
Drop the pound. Drop him from the panel right now.
No, because
get him off the freaking panel right now.
No, because Draymond, he is a leader, and he is not scared of getting into two players' faces.
I'm declaring a domestic terrorist and Shawnee right now for trying to attack my goddamn team.
Shawnee, I agree.
Draymond
Dude,
would
it's
not
over.
put up with the
Again,
lack
the
of
dynasty's
effort
over,
that
man. You
Shawnee,
guys aren't
Shawnee,
coming back.
Shawnee, you got to ask yourself a question. Do you want to put
Yeah.
Draymond with a young player? The last young player
Exactly.
that had talent, the last young player that had talent, that
He got,
played
yeah,
with,
drove,
he
ran him out
punched
of
him, he
town.
punched him in the
Punch him in the face and ran him out of town. Yeah.
So
Some
Yeah,
that's
but
all
now
I'm
you
saying.
talking
You got to
about-
ask
now
You
yourself.
talking
do you
about
wanna
the
put Draymond
franchise?
Some
Yeah,
people
but
talking about
Jordan
franchise
Poole
trash.
and Luka aren't the same player though.
Yeah,
But
and
Draymond will hold Luka accountable. He'll hold Luka
and
accountable.
Oh, for
that's
sure.
all I'm getting at. As much what stuff that Draymond come, like just like what Trey said, either you're gonna have to take Luka off the Mavericks and put him in a winning culture so he can get this influence to improve his effort on the court that's not on the offensive side of the ball,
Come to the
or
Warriors,
bring
Luka.
somebody to Dallas who's not afraid to get in his face about that. And the thing I brought
That's
up
not good,
Draymond
Shawnee.
because there's not that much players currently in the NBA that you can think of that personalities will step up to Luka like that and get in his face if he's lacking defensively. The only one I could come to mind right now is Draymond.
Yeah, but Shawnee, the thing is, hold on, give me a second. The thing is that Draymond Green is already he is too old, right? The days of glory for Golden State is a wrap. That is a wrap for that thing. The only
But
thing left on that squad. But hold on. Draymond is about what, 35 maybe?
They're all over
35,
35. Yeah.
36?
They're all, yeah.
Yeah, but at least Steph got like at least two more years of grace. I can see because of his game. You see what I'm saying? His game is not predicted on athleticism. But anyway, Draymond is gonna let's just play with your scenario, right? Draymond go to Dallas, right? He first of all, he's a big-headed guy getting in the face of the white boy Luka, bro. That's a recipe for disaster, bro. Luka is a khaki guy. Draymond he's gonna start thinking that he's Draymond from back in 2012, 13, 15. Bro, that will kill your squad, man. That's a terrible mix right there, bro. Absolutely not.
Hey, Shawnee, let me give you two other names and see what you think about these names instead. What about Bam Adebayo or Jaren Jackson Jr.? They're both defensive players. They could help. They could hold them accountable. What about those two names instead? And they're younger.
If they don't have a problem getting it, because and Dante, correct me if I'm wrong, locally, you don't hear anything negative about Luka's personality or demeanor. It's just his whining to the rest. But as far as being hard to coach or you don't hear. Now I know him and Rick Carlisle, that's different. But
getting clever. But yeah, when we
those
went
two
to that
names
game,
that you all brought up, KP, I think if they will hold Luka accountable, hey, they'll be great. As long as a player can hold Luka accountable and like they will get in his face with the lack of defense that he does, since he's been in the NBA. If they'll do that, that'd be perfect. And they're younger than Green, so they'll be even better fit.
Most
All
of
right,
y'all made
guys.
a mistake after your comments. I appreciate Trey Ferg and Paul, Mr. Bennett for the most part until that shade you threw at my team, the Ravens.
You know it's true. Trey does too. Trey drank the water. Trey drank the water. Not Trey Ferg. Trey Taylor. Trey from Baltimore. He knows the truth also.
I am not from Baltimore. Bro, I'm from DC.
Oh, so that's same thing. Same.
No.
Don't do drugs, kid. Don't do drugs,
It is not.
Oh man, hey, this is fun tonight, guys. It's really good to have all you guys on tonight. We need to do more of these. Certainly have more open panels and whatnot. And I know we're about to go into that lull. Baseball season is going to be here and whatnot. But again, next week's show, we got to talk about the boxing before that comes out. You had some good matchups this past weekend. We're going to have more boxing news coming up certainly over the summer, more bouts. And so certainly we'll get a chance to get into that. And also, I think in by the next month is going to be training camp back in the NFL. Honestly, guys, I can't get into baseball until like September, to be honest with you. So you guys, I know you guys are Texas Ranger fans and Houston Astros fans and all that, but you guys may have to carry that conversation, man, to get us through all that. I'm hoping for some Dallas Cowboy news that we could talk about in the meantime. But for you guys hopping on tonight, but yes, very successful season for the Boston Celtics. Congratulations on the 18th, holding the all-time only. I think the New York Yankees are the only sports franchise that has more championships, and so certainly having the Celtics relevant again took us 16 years to get back to it. So it's good to have the guys back on top, and that's all I'll say on that. But let's go on around the room. Give our final thoughts. Dante, I know you got a roll, so you want to give your final thoughts, and you can bounce.
Man, I'll say my final thoughts. I know we talked about it in the chat, but man, condolences to probably, I heard someone say, probably the greatest living athlete left until he passed away. Really amazing, because like I know they were saying like younger people don't understand, and maybe they'll say, "Dang, I'm getting older," because I fully understand, or I think I fully understand just how great of a player he was, and what he meant in baseball, and how he's on that short list of just one of the greatest rarefied air players that we've ever seen. And so condolences to his family and just
very well, Yeah, I wanted to get into that too. I just wanted to say that, I mean, and again, obviously, no one on this panel on the call is old enough to certainly see him play. We only see the footage and whatnot, but just based on what I've seen, he might have been the first certainly baseball superstar. And what I mean by that is, again, he played the most glamorous position. He played center field. We all know about the behind the shoulder catch, freaky offensive talent and whatnot. He brought like that sizzle to baseball. You had Ruth and Marison, all those guys, from the 40s and 50s, whatnot, DiMaggio and all that. But he brought style. He brought sizzle to baseball that had everybody watching. So I look at him as like the first in a line of baseball superstars that really brought sort of everybody together. When he played, it's like the world stopped for a time. Aaron, he he was going to hit the home runs and whatnot, but again, didn't have the flair. But Mays was just like on a, he might have been like the first breakout major superstar in baseball that everybody, started singing songs about him and all that. I mean, Say Hey Kid and all that. So salute to him in that. But didn't want to steal that, but I definitely want to augment your point, Dante. Shawnee, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
All right, brother.
Mine's just dealing with Willie Mays as well. An absolute icon just in the sports community, but especially in the Black community, because the time that he did, was playing, everybody knows the struggles that the Black community was going through during that time when Mays was playing. And I was listening to First Take this morning, and one thing about Mad Dog Russo, he brought up Willie Mays possibly would have been the one who broke Babe Ruth's record before Hank Aaron did. Because you remember, he actually took off 2 years to go serve in the military.
Right.
So he probably would have broken it based on his average that he was hitting home runs and whatnot. He would have broke it if he would just play those 2 seasons. So, like I heard Poppy say, 5'2" player, 5'2" star, whatever. That dude, he can do it all.
Yeah.
And he was just an absolute icon. And I always respect just what those players like him and Jackie Robinson, because I know baseball has this 42 day when everybody in the league wear 42.
Right.
I think they should do something similar for Willie Mays as well. Everybody wear his jersey number, because to have, and as great as Jackie Robinson was, Willie Mays was better.
Yeah,
he just wasn't the first
on every level. Yeah,
into the MLB.
Yes,
but they experienced similar things as far as to be that great of a player on the field and to experience the stuff they did off the field, hell, even on the field while they was playing. You can't do nothing but respect that. So yeah, it's definitely
he was the Michael Jordan of baseball at the time. I mean, it was just
I can't. Mr. Bennett, I can't even put Michael Jordan as a level, because Michael Jordan just had to worry about playing basketball. Willie Mays, the reality that them brothers had to go through.
Oh, for sure. I'm just talking about the play. Like I said, the athleticism, the gracefulness, the power. I mean, it was like, wow. It was like he was like an evolution of the player, not just one who just hit home runs, steal bases, the outfield. Again, everybody when I back when everybody wanted to play center field. I mean, center field became the glamour position in baseball, and I have to think that he had a lot to do with that. So, but Trey Ferg, you want to share your final thoughts? And I don't know, Poppy, if you still have anything you want to say before we close the show, I'll give you
Yeah, I will.
if you want. Okay.
I mean,
Yes, sir.
again, man, I'm gonna piggyback just off what the other two guys just already spoke about, man. Willie Mays, man, just his humbleness, man, to the community. I saw some footage on him today where he used to spend hours during the season in his off time just playing stick ball with the young guys. And to me that means a lot because although he understood his superstar status I don't think he really understood his superstar status until after his playing days.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he was able to put up over 600 home runs,
660,
including missing those 2 seasons, with no enhancers or anything, just staying healthy and giving back like that. I think that speaks volumes, man. Like stuff like that goes to me beyond the sports. Him and Muhammad Ali are the 2 guys that I can, look to and like, man, they really gave
that's
back.
a perfect comparison. I put them.
You know what I'm saying? So, this shout out to him, man, to his family, man. Hope they, can pray themselves through this troubled times. But man, shout out to, all the great pioneer athletes, man. Shout out to the Negro League, everybody, man. Hey, they paved the way for us fools out here to think we can play now. And half of us don't even want to play with your overweight ass. So get in shape this summer. Everybody, it's this training season for you young guys. Get rid of the man boobs, the fat back. Get out there, get some shoulders, some thigh muscles, some pecs, some abs, some quads, some fucking groin, some biceps, some triceps, some forearms, some neck. Shawnee used to have that neck muscle. Get some back, get all that. This is the time, fellas. Y'all can do that shit. That's all I got.
Awesome.
One quick thing before Poppy go. It stands out to me that I was glad that Willie Mays was able to see the Negro League stats finally get accepted into baseball before he passed away. So his stats and everything else, as far as the Negro Leagues, everybody finally getting the honor that they deserve in recognition. So, at least he was able to see that before he go that. But okay, Poppy,
awesome. All right, well, again, we have our special guest, Poppy Blanco. Again, always good chopping up with you, bro. Hope you're doing well, your family's doing well and whatnot. So anything you want to say, close us out. Let's get hearing from you as always, brother.
Same thing to you, sir. Y'all my peoples, man. Shout out to Shawnee Dante, my man Paul, the 2 Treys, KP, that Mexican ass motherfucker. Yo, I gotta call you out, Mr. Bennett, man. Like, I could have swear you was like a Sixers fan. Now all of a sudden, now the Celtics won. Now you a Celtics fan?
I've been a Boston Celtic fan since 1981. I was there when Bird and Magic came into the league.
Yeah, right. I follow you on the grind. I ain't see no Celtic shit on your shit, man. Stop it.
Look again. Look at my Instagram. Look at my Instagram. I'm in full. I got a Larry Bird jersey. You realize the trauma I went through as a black kid in the Northeast wearing a Larry Bird jersey. I was called every name in the book back then. So look, I earned that jersey, bro. So
I'm messing with you, bro. But look, today was a great show, right? Next week we need to kind of probably start. I would suggest start like a 40 minutes early or something like that. Send me the link. I would be the first one because this is one thing I love those sports, man. You know what I mean? Great show, man. Rest in peace to Willie Mays. A lot of people don't know, even though I never watched the man playing, but I'm a sport junkie, man. I watch it like obviously on tapes and stuff like that. That man was great. I still believe the best player to ever live was Barry Bonds. I know you're gonna kill me. But Barry Bonds, before getting juiced up, that man was a monster. It was a Hall of Famer before the juice. He was a Hall of Famer, bro. You look at the numbers.
Yep.
It's skinny Barry Bonds, Pittsburgh. So next week we can start early. I mean, obviously that's up to you guys, but I'm just giving a suggestion, bro. I'll be here and we can battle it out. I'll bring my Barry Bonds staff and wipe the floor with all you guys.
All right.
Hey,
Sounds
bro,
good.
fellas, take care, okay? Great show, fam.
You do the same. You do the same. All right, guys. So we out. Good to see you guys. We'll see you next week. Have a great night. God bless. And again, happy Juneteenth for all those who celebrate. And you will see you next week. Take care.